Welcome back to the Talking Points podcast. If you're listening to us over on Spotify or any other podcast application, whatever you want to call it, make sure you follow the channel. And of course, if you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But today, we're going to be talking about, well, there's nothing really to talk about because it's not a race weekend, but we have asked you guys at home to send in your tweets, your stories, and you have flooded our DMs. So that's what we're going to be breaking down today. Matt has got all the DMs for us, so I think you should kick us off.
Yeah, and also to pre-emphasis as well, like, we haven't read any of these stories yet, so we actually don't know if any of these are going to be good or bad. We're doing it live, so it's all a bit fun, and then
does that mean we might get some dodgy ones, Matt?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Potentially. This might be like an extra edit for me.
Max Verstappen taking a massive poo, basically. That's what
we could have those type of issues, not issues or stories where
some people are into that kind of thing. It's fine.
Yeah. It's all
this is what we want. This is what we wanted to do. Yeah, we want to hear your fun F1 driver interaction video stories. So yeah, this first one here is from Will, who says, I met Damon Hill back in 2015 at the British Par 3 Championships, and when getting a photo with him, he commented on my mum's shaky hands trying to take the photo. To be fair, it was raining and she was holding onto an umbrella, but it's something that we'll all tease her about. And here, there's not a photo. There's no photo there. I thought it was going to be there.
That was such an. I was honestly waiting for the photo to pop up.
You wouldn't be able to see the photo because it's motion blur from the shaky hands.
I reckon it would be Damon Hill in the photo. Can't even tell.
So obviously, with me, it would be if I was with Daniel Ricciardo, my hands would be shaking. I'm assuming
we'd be questioning what you would be doing with those hands. That's the problem.
You're not wrong.
I'm guessing yours, Hayden, would be Stroll, right?
Oh, those hands will be shaking. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Hi, man. I love it. I'm a big fan of yours.
So do we reckon that Will's mum's a massive Damon Hill stan then? Is that what we're getting from this?
So.
Or was it just really cold?
I was wondering what you were going to say after that.
I think there's. I'm going to assume that Will's mother is around the 30, 40, 50 age. I feel like a lot of mums around that age are fans of Damon Hill because
that's quite an assumption to make, Hayden.
Yeah,
and also a big age gap there from 30, 40,
I didn't want to
50.
give anything away,
Will's mum is an age.
Hello,
there is
Will's
a number there. Well, Aldas, what about when you met Charles Leclerc? Because I remember it was you doing a selfie with Charles, and wasn't your selfie rubbish?
Oh, it was terrible, mate. But that was more because it was like really busy. I've got
You're
another
lucky that you've got the backup that someone took a picture of you
First
taking
of
a
all,
selfie.
no. Did you say luck, mate? Did you say luck? That was
Very
absolutely
lucky.
not luck. Actually, for anyone that doesn't know the story, here we go. Sit down and listen to this one.
Oh God, I've set him off.
Autosport. It must have been Autosport 2020, I think. And obviously, Charles Leclerc was doing something on the stage, and I got the absolute worst photo ever with him. I mean, it was shaky, it was blurry, but I looked back and I thought, oh, for God's sake, why don't I click it like 3 times? And then I just forgot about it and went home. And then he posted on his actual Instagram a picture with me and him of someone else taking a picture of us. I mean, he clearly thought that I was good looking enough to be on his Instagram. So that's a W right there.
And now he hates you.
Yeah, but you did Hayden though, and he didn't tag you in the photo.
I just realised it's still on my pinned tweet. It's still there.
Yes, it is, mate. Of course, it's your only claim to fame, basically.
Mate, everyone out of nowhere, everyone was like flooding my DMs and like commenting like, "Oh my God, that's you," and I was like, "Oh my God, that's brilliant." So worth
Right,
it.
you and Will's mum have a lot in common, Aldas.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Shaky hands.
Right then, Tom, do you want to read the next one for us?
Shall I go now? Oh, that looks like a bit of Zachary Brown, doesn't it? Right. Okay. Hello. There he is. Just.
Is he looking at a bush?
He looks like that. That's a US number plate in the background, isn't it? They're definitely not UK plates on those
God,
cars.
your eyes really are strong. Damn.
Yeah, that's definitely not like.
Wait, let me click on the photo.
Slough.
Who would have thought that you in your 40s would still have your eyesight?
Listen, okay. Listen. I don't know what to say, but just listen, Hayden. Right, so last season I went to the race in Austin with some buddies. My wife sent us for my 40th birthday. It was truly a dream come true. The morning of qualifying, we went to this amazing spot for breakfast, and when we walked in, we noticed a bunch of McLaren team members having breakfast. Ooh. When we walked by the patio, I looked out to see a table full of them, one being Zachary Brown. Look at him.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. I could tell they were wrapping up their meal, so I went outside to see if I could get a photo with him. When he left, eventually he walked out with another team member. He escorted him quickly in the opposite direction to a wait car. Quick, get in the car! It's like it's a bloody president or
Paparazzi.
something.
Yeah. Go.
I didn't get a photo with him, but I was able to snap a quick one of him before getting in his car. Pretty cool experience. Here's the photo. Lovely. Wow. Look at. Actually, didn't we, when we went to the MTC, didn't Zach Brown walk past me?
He did.
Completely. I had no idea. All of yous were like, Zach Brown just walked past. And I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, because at the time, because I was filming you guys, and I clocked him first. I think he was walking across the boulevard, and he walked past me. I couldn't then be like, "Hey guys, it's Zach Brown!" And like I was like,
Very subtle. That's kind of Matt's style. To be fair, that's very Matt.
But look at his trainers, though. I mean, what? Wow.
That'd be sponsored trainers, right? Are they sponsored
Yeah,
by
they're Cuban
Puma?
McLaren.
Yeah.
Can I just say, the only thing I take away from this picture, it looks like he's looking into a bush. I don't know why. That's so perfectly framed. I mean, just look
for
at
me,
that.
the smile, the hand positioning, I'm wondering what's going on in that car right now.
You can also tell he didn't open the door for it as well, because his hands are already in his pockets. So the team member has opened it for him. I mean, bit of a weird power dynamic there, but
Matt, how many doors for racing drivers have you opened in your day?
none.
There you go. Well, the one thing Matt hasn't done. You've done most things, but not.
I've assisted a driver into an open cockpit of a car, but not into open a door for them for an SUV.
Also, is Zach Brown tall? Because again, I didn't see him, but you lot did.
He's a bit smaller than me, but it's all, about 6 foot, I'd probably say.
Oh, really?
So taller than me then.
Yeah,
but
everyone's
difficult, is it, Alden?
Yeah.
apart from Yuki Tsunoda,
Yuki
everyone's
Tsunoda,
taller than you.
Lando Norris, maybe, it's kind of close.
You need to do
Nick De Vries,
get a picture with Nick De Vries and Yuki Tsunoda. AlphaTauri next year. That's your team, surely, mate.
Make
You're
it
taller than
happen.
both of them.
Big up AlphaTauri. That's why they've got the best driver lineup on the grid, no doubt about it.
Isn't that the shortest driver lineup of all time? I seem to remember
Must be, surely.
someone put that out there. And
Someone
I
probably
think
tweeted it, yeah.
Well, saying
That's
that,
a video idea.
Alan Prost was also quite small as well. I know Bruno Senna wasn't the tallest one out there, but I know Alan Prost was quite a small guy. So, but yeah, there's a video idea for you, Adas.
Anthony Davidson,
ranking the smallest drivers, everyone who's under 6 foot.
Everyone in
All the best
world.
drivers are, mate. All the best drivers are. You'll notice that.
You heard it here first. Aldas does not think George Russell is one of the best drivers out there. You've been caught, mate.
yeah, true.
Not yet. He's still got to get a bit shorter, He'll get shorter. He hasn't quite got it yet.
Yeah. Right, Aldas, do you want to read us the next one?
Right. Once photobombed. Brilliant. Classic puller face. What does that actually mean? I'm so confused.
Photobombed? You don't know
When
what
you
a
put a
photobomb
face in the
is?
back of a photo.
How old are you?
That's brilliant. Right. Once photobombed, classic puller face photobombing. Lewis Hamilton, as he took a photo with my then girlfriend at Goodwood Festival of Speed. She ended up, that's pretty, that's already
Jealous.
a story right there.
You're jealous.
Exactly. She ended up being the last person to get a photo before he jumped in the car. So the Sky cameras wanted to see the photo. I photobombed Lewis and got it onto Sky F1. Where's the proof? I want to see this.
Yeah,
Why are they not sending these in?
We need to find a photo of this, but also I think it's weird that he went my then girlfriend rather than my ex.
Yeah, that's a bit.
There's
I
still
wanna hear
hope
that
for him.
story, actually.
There's still
hope.
hope. Maybe they will get back together. Do you know what? I believe in you, Kay Mendham. I believe in you, okay? You will find love and she will come back. Just keep trying, man.
We'll make it happen. We'll find the photo. We'll make it happen for you.
But if you're hanging
deep
outside a house,
analysis.
that's where it needs to stop, mate. Okay, that's too far.
You speak from experience, mate. Well, that's a bit worrying.
A lot of flights
Also-
to the Netherlands.
I love that Sky are like loitering around, try to. Can I get your photo? No.
Yeah.
Go away.
Can you just
Who do you
airdrop
reckon
it
that
to me,
was?
yeah? And I'll put it on Sky, no problem.
Yeah.
I think the biggest news here is that Aldas doesn't know what photobombing is.
No, I did. I was just reading at the beginning and the way it was started. I was like, what?
Bomber. He's always doing that little hee little pose like that. You are a fine photo bomber out there.
That's my signature.
You're definitely an uwu boy, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
definitely an uwu boy.
Charles
That's the
Leclerc.
hair. The
Charles
hair's
Leclerc,
always getting in
take
the photo.
picture with me, ooh.
Right, Hayden, do you want to read the next one?
Yes, probably the most iconic thing I've seen
Ironic.
when I had a. Is it ironic? I can't read, mate.
Iconic.
Probably the most ironic thing I've seen was when I had a paddock pass at Austin last year, and Daniel. Oh, here comes the Daniel Ricciardo one, of course. And
know
Daniel
what this made
Ricciardo
it.
happened to walk into a bathroom where Christian Horner walked out of the same bathroom only a few seconds later. So basically, what they're saying
Daniel did
is,
his shit.
imagine in an F1 paddock where it's not a big space, two people share the same toilet. Mind-blowing.
And we know at the same time Zach Brown is just leaving a restaurant after emptying himself out
Let's
there.
have a look at this clip then.
So he's just done like looks like a Sky Sports interview. Oh no, Zach Brown's there.
Oh my god, Zach Brown's everywhere.
Oh yeah, he's getting interviewed.
I love that we're just watching a driver now just go to the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm just going for a shit, everyone. See you in a minute.
For our audio listeners only, he's just walked into a little porta cabin toilet. And
Also,
now
I love the way he's using the porta cabin and not like the McLaren like actual toilet. Like, he must have been
Doesn't
desperate.
that
He's
get
a man of
access?
the people. Man of the people.
No,
He's a man of
honestly,
the
it's because in McLaren there's a rule that you have to score a certain amount of points to
Oh,
use the toilet.
here we go.
Oh. Out.
Oh,
It's
that's-
Christian.
and all the fans are going, And for audio listeners, Christian Horner just walked out without a face mask. Because he doesn't care, obviously. So
you know what? Just because of that, they should take away the championship.
Okay. He
Just
doesn't
because
care
of
about
that,
the
take
stink
away
in
his championship. That's it.
he's just been like, I've just eaten a massive dinner with all our extra money that we've got this season. Nom nom nom. Just gonna drop the kids off at school. And then
That's exactly how Christian Horner eats, I'm sure.
I reckon Daniel definitely gave him a little slap on the balls on the way out.
Oh,
I reckon.
absolutely. All right, then here's a question for you, lads. Then, if you had to go to the toilet and meet a driver there, who would be the one driver you want to meet in there while you're going to go for a quick pee?
Want to eat.
Who would I like to
Not
see
Lewis
in a
Hamilton,
toilet?
because I've seen a picture of him in some joggers, and that would make me feel very, very inadequate as a male. So I do not want to go in the toilet and see Lewis Hamilton.
Fair. Okay,
I knew that I knew that Hayden would go there. I just honestly.
Basically, you want to know who's got the smallest wiener and who's going to make me feel the best.
Wiener.
What are you like 7? Oh my god.
Dear. I'm guessing Alda should probably go for Alonso.
Oh no. Do you know I'm gonna go for what Hayden's just dropped. I'm gonna go for Lewis Hamilton, mate. I'm going straight in there.
I would go Stroll, because the bathroom would be like gold lined, and it'd be like there'd be actual thrones with it'd be really
Gold.
swanky. You know what I mean?
Gold toilet paper as well. Nothing less.
I would
the best for my ass.
Mine would probably be Valtteri Bottas, because obviously he's so
That's a good
open
one.
to do it. I don't know why. I've now just got the image of like he goes to urinal, but he drops his trousers down to his ankles.
He's
Oh,
bollock naked when he's
that's
at
a red
urinal.
flag.
Everything's out.
Nah, he sits on the urinal. He takes number 2 on the urinal. Like, he's just sitting there, bare face, staring at everyone else.
All right, this next story then.
wow.
Hey, funny interaction with Gasly here. Met him and his now ex-girlfriend in the most random Madrid back streets. Really good to talk with him, and excited and surprised to get recognised. They're entering a small, cheap snack shop like the rest of us mortals. Fun times. Oh, and it was a random Monday night before the Turkish Grand Prix. And here's look, they've included the photo.
Finally, there we go.
Yes.
Proof.
There we go. Love that.
What,
And for
what
audio,
they took that on, by the way? It's like
for-
Nokia from the early 2000s.
it's not that bad of a photo. It's
Still
still
better than your
very good.
selfie with Charlotte
Don't image
Leclerc, mate.
shame.
Actually, yeah, to be, I've got
Pixel
to be
shame.
silent on
Got
that.
nothing.
Pixel shame.
I actually rate this jumper for our audio listeners only. It's sort of like a dark cream sort of knitted jumper. I've got one very much similar to this, but it's not a turtleneck like that.
That's why
Yeah,
you
I
rate
doubt
it.
you have the same
Brilliant.
one, because that probably
No,
costs
yeah.
a fortune, mate.
Well, hang
That's
on.
where the turtleneck comes in.
Guarantee that's like £600
When do we
out
think
of Tauri.
this photo was taken? Because
Turkish
So he said
in the comments 2020 or
he
2021.
said the Monday night before the Turkish Grand Prix.
It was probably last year.
so
no.
it was
2020
2020.
or 2021. Yeah.
Oh no, but obviously COVID's 2020 probably.
Yeah.
wouldn't
Is
have
he
been.
actually? Is this 2020 and Pierre's just got exposed? Wow. He
Oh,
was walking
no
around.
face masks exposed.
Oh,
that's
that's
going to be that's going to be the title of this podcast. Pierre
you
Gasly
reckon-
exposed.
Do you reckon the girlfriend that they were talking about is now with Esteban Ocon?
I mean, I'm not going to say no to that.
Baby. All this talk of driver swaps, and it's actually wife swap. No,
Also, I'm a fan of the I'm also a fan of the Carderoid shirt here. It's not my green and blue one, but I do like the shirt there.
I think it's a tribute to you, mate. Clearly.
Yeah.
Well, no, because it says in the comment that Gasly was surprised to be recognised, right?
Yeah, because it says here random Madrid back streets, and then going into like a cheap snack shop.
Oh, yeah. I guess. Yeah. Pierre wasn't like expecting it, so he was just
okay.
he was like,
and this also looks like quite late night as well. So oh, lovely. Right, on to the next story, Tomo.
Come on then, right, from Alex Cotman. Right, funny story. It was back in 2016. Is that 16?
Yeah, 2016.
16, yeah. When I was working as a salesman for a cell carrier here in the States, I was helping one customer. I noticed their last name was Grosjean and they had a French accent. Like an absolute idiot, I started talking this poor man's head off about F1. Did you not even think that maybe it might he'd mentioned some sort of relation to Roman, not thinking for one moment that unrelated people can have the same last name. After a while, I phoned just to ask him point blank if he's related to Roman at all. He said, "I don't even know what you've been talking about or whatever it is. Never wanted to." To be fair, coming across I've not heard the surname Grosjean before. Not that I know many French people, right? But I don't think it's the most common surname in France. But then also being in the States.
Yeah, in the States. That's the key point.
Because obviously Grosjean, I believe he lives there now, obviously for IndyCar. But 2016 though, that's a bit of a rarity. But also, I would love to think though, if it actually was Roman, just being like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Just give me my cell phone provider, more access. That's all I'm needing to call.
See, this is why we all have platforms.
When Roman needs to get anything, he needs to go through the F1 quiz to make sure that it's the Roman Grosjean. And that's actually what had to. If you wanted to get a phone, is this the Roman Grosjean? Are you a Formula One driver? I'd honestly do the same though. If you Kevin Magnussen, if I was phoning someone that I knew was called Kevin Magnussen, I'd be like, do you know Formula One, by the way, by any chance?
You must get this all the time.
This is why we have platforms, because before YouTube and Drive to Survive, F1 fans just didn't know how to control themselves. Anything related to their, oh, your surname's Verline. Well, have you heard about Pascal? Well, no, I haven't. You weirdo, leave me alone.
Right, Aldas, on to the next one.
Right, I went to a party with friends in 2007 and Kimi Räikkönen, Felipe Massa and Jean Todt, what is he doing there? Were all there just hanging out. Kimi was super lively and chatty. Surely not. That's a lie right there.
He's had a few drinks in him, I think.
Yeah, that's why. Felt like I'd slipped into another world. Jean Todt going out on a night out, by the way.
I reckon even to this day he's a party animal, in all fairness. I reckon he's on it every single weekend. Jaeger bombs at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah.
It does say party and not dinner. So, what sort of party was this? It's like a random club? That's
what I want to know. That's what I want to know a bit more about this party. Because is it just, you just went to a club and you bumped into him? Or was it an invite-only gig? You know what I mean?
I want to know, what friends has she got that she's slipping into Ferrari parties? That's brilliant. That's
and also mentioning Kimi was super lively. So is he sort of trying to cut some shapes on the dance floor? Did he potentially chat to them?
Do you remember the Top Gear episode where Kimi was the star of the reasonably priced car, and Jeremy Clarkson was sad about it. He went to a party and then just looked down and there was just drunk Kimi Räikkönen just at his feet.
I could see that.
Kimi goes hard.
Yeah, I know. I'm so happy we got this now on camera at the FIA prize giving ceremony where he got absolutely slaughtered.
Oh, that was great. And it was both him. Was it 2017 when that was?
Yeah, because it was both him and Seb got awarded on stage, and he did the classic clapping and then leaning and cross. But the whole time he's just sort of chatting shit in the crowd.
My favourite bit though, did you see when it cuts to his? It cuts to his wife, and she's recording it, and her face is oh my god, what is he doing? Oh my god.
Oh dear me.
That's kind of what you signed up for with Kimi, isn't it? But
Hayden.
On to the next one. Right, in December 2019, I attended a post-season event in London, hosted by Damon Hill and Karun Chandok. At one point in the evening, it was almost like a Dutch auction in terms of some of the adversity they've had in F1. Specifically, Karun said to Damon, at least you had plenty of time to get used to the car before qualifying. It was a reference to how in 2010 he had to wait until qualifying for the season opener in Bahrain to drive his HRT as fast as he could. As for Damon, he asked about some moments of controversy between himself and Michael Schumacher and said, let's not go there, lol. Oh. Why did you have to give me the one that's got the most writing? I struggle to read.
You did well though, to be fair. No, you did well.
Because out of all of us, you are the actual seasoned professional being a presenter. We all know what Tomo's like with a script. It takes him a few takes.
A few?
I struggle to see sometimes. I'm zooming in on my laptop, just really making sure I can see it.
And then we got a picture of the three of them together.
Oh, look at all those lanyards. Do you need that many?
Did he expect them to be there? I mean, you know when you sort of read stuff but you don't actually take in the information? That's kind of what I did there. So what actually happened?
It was a post-season event. I attended a post-season event in London hosted by Damon Hill.
So you knew they were going to be there.
He's just reading the
You
words.
put yourself
and
to sleep reading it, Hayden.
It's in one ear, out
So
the other.
sorry to everyone listening to my voice.
So, apologise to Simon. That's the
I'm
person you got
sorry,
to apologise to.
Simon. I'm
Hayden.
sorry. I'm sorry. It was. I'm sure a very interesting story. I just got wrapped up in it.
Here's a question, right? What do we make of Karun as a driver? Because we didn't really get much of a expose into his actual ability on track, did we? Because he was in a HRT.
The problem with judging any of those drivers from that early 2010s period that were in like HRT, then they were in the Virgin, the Marussia, the Manor, the MRT at one point. It was like some kind of acronym. That's and what was it? Caterham, Lotus. That's just 3 teams, by the way, with about 9 different names in the space of 6 years. The problem with judging all of those is that those cars weren't even like the Williams of like this year. They were miles off the back. So it's kind of like, if they did a decent job against their teammates, which I think, to be fair, Karun Chandhok did a decent job up against Bruno Senna, and like, you know, Bruno went on to race in 2012, so it's weird to kind of judge drivers from that area. But I will say though, that story of him literally like jumping in for the very first time in his car, not in Barcelona testing, not in like the factory or something to go for a shakedown, in qualifying for Bahrain, the very first race of the 2010 season. That is nuts, by the way. That is ridiculous.
Just turn it into a 20-minute testing session. That's just
Shaking it down in
best way of doing
Q1.
it.
I mean, that's how it's always done.
I've always got a little soft spot with Karun. I was lucky enough to meet him a few times at Goodwood Revival because his daughter, his daughter does the. It was a very nice flat cap, I must say. Actually, it was very, very good. His daughter did like the pedal cars, which is like a little race I do at Revival, and my uncle sort of helps organise that. So Karun's always around. He's always giving his time, giving his time over. So, but yeah, in terms of him as a driver, I just said, it's kind of hard to actually fully rate, but yeah, lovely little story. Having a little
actually, hang on, before we get to the next one, we should tell the story about your uncle and Aldas, because this is our little story. That isn't.
So
before we get to Sam,
Are we sure we shouldn't keep this for like, extra, extra content?
No.
Are we sure?
Spill the beans. Come on.
Yeah, so basically, for those who don't know, we very much have got our tropes in like our group dynamic, and Aldous is very much the one who's got the encyclopedia knowledge of everything F1.
Allegedly.
No, out of all of us four here, if you were to go on an F1 quiz show, you would nail it every single time. And we when we were all together, I think it was like Festival of Speed, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I think last year, right?
Yeah, last year. So we're all there, and my uncle Alex, he works there. He works in the assembly area, so basically where all the guys get gathered together before they actually do the run up. And he was very nice to us to actually get like us tickets there, and that's how we've done like previous content. It's been great, and so it's the first time. He also is super knowledgeable about everything Formula One, and we got to the assembly area, and then you got the Brawn car there, you got the 6-wheel Tyrrell, and every car we're going across, Aldous was like, "Oh, is this like the sort of the 2012 sort of car?" And straight away Alex would be like, "No,
look at me, look at my knowledge."
Yeah, and basically just got absolutely schooled by my uncle.
He
So every
was just
time
shooting me down left, right, and centre. I was like, I'm trying. I'm working a crowd here. What's going on?
He smelt blood and he went for it, and it was hilarious to watch. Honestly, it was good. I was just glad he didn't come for me, because I was like, listen, I don't know.
Yeah, you know,
He's a
real
YouTube
quiet,
channel, mate.
by the
Help
way,
him
when he
out.
did that to me. Can I just say, I
Because
think
we
Hayden
didn't
and Tom were
pipe
like real
up
quiet.
like we have the best knowledge in the world. I mean, I already showed that I've got better F1 knowledge than you in that quiz that we used to do. So I don't need to prove anything, mate.
right, on to the next story, which is by our mate Perspective. So he says he's got a story about Oscar Piastri. Met him in the paddock in Melbourne this year, and of one of the Australian Grand Prix guys introduced me and to talk about how I do F1 YouTube, which was really cool. I then talked to his physio Kim, who was super cool, and asked heaps of questions about F1 and YouTube, and I thought it was pretty awesome. I also have a cousin who lived near Albert Park years ago, and he managed to get into the pits by pure luck one night and played keepy uppies with Felipe Massa, which absolutely blew my mind.
Wow.
Do you just how do you luck into like getting do they give tickets to like people who live nearby?
I think if you find a bush in the middle of the circuit. You hide in it, and then they build the circuit around you, and then by the time it's opened, you've smashed it. Job done.
Nice.
You come out of the session and go,
video.
I was here the whole time.
Yeah. It's just like you tripped and just fell into the Grand Prix. Whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I really think they need to do a Formula One football charity match because there's so many guys who play keepy uppies or football in the paddock that we and so
Every time they go to
Monaco.
every time they go to Monaco, they do a football charity match.
But
Not everyone,
is it
but it's like
that's what I mean. It
lots
needs to be
players and
because I know
involved.
I know like Vettel and Mick Schumacher did one this year, but I think trying to get a full roster of like past F1 drivers and current F1 drivers to do a full either like five-a-side or whomever.
F1 drivers versus F1 content creators 11 aside, right? And then Tomo
so
goes
good.
in and snaps Lewis Hamilton's ankles. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Yeah, and Lewis Hamilton didn't even have the ball.
Yeah.
Imagine for like the title fight last year, and then you've just got like friendly fire as Max Verstappen, whoops, that treads on Lewis's toes or something like that.
Just everyone like hacking out Lewis just before the title decider in Abu Dhabi. There was actually, I don't know if you guys have seen a video. I think Lewis in like 2015 did like a five-a-side match with like Jamie Carragher and like Thierry Henry there. And Jamie Carragher, and it was in a cage as well. And Jamie Carragher like proper like just slammed him up like into the side of the fence. And it was like, there was a big bang. It was like, whoa. And it was like right before the Monaco Grand Prix.
I think that was a 24-hour game, and it was like a continuous game, and they had people coming on like all the time. But what actually that message makes me think, right? Oscar, which drivers do you think know about F1 YouTube? Because that kind
a
of
lot of the younger ones, definitely. I remember from like Arav's gaming stuff when he would do like his My Driver career, and he'd have people that were in like younger categories, and they'd always ask, "Oh, can I be in the next series?" sort of thing. So there's definitely a lot of them who sort of.
Well, obviously you got Lando Norris, he's obviously doing so much stuff with Quadrant, so I feel like he's a bit connected into that. I know Ricardo is because he DM'd the WTF1 account and gave him something because he watched something of their podcast where they sort of mentioned him, so he sent them out like a I think it was like a jumper or something.
They're probably slandering him.
Yeah, probably. Rightly so, absolutely. Well deserved. I feel like Bottas might potentially, because he seems like in the last year, he seems to be more switched on with like social, because obviously he did so many TikToks with Mercedes, and I feel like he's got a bit more of a digital mindset on him.
I think Zhou would as well. I've got a feeling Zhou might as well.
Zhou does.
He's your boy, isn't he?
Yeah. I think a lot of them are more like definitely the TikTok, Instagram sort of video style stuff, because I remember like Liam Lawson said that he'd watched stuff of mine, and then also I think he met another creator and said that he watched his stuff recently. Zhou, when we went and did the interview with him, he said, "Oh yeah, I've seen your stuff on Instagram." So I think a lot of them would see. I reckon they have seen stuff like, even if you're just scrolling through, because now it just comes up like, especially on the Instagram feed, like it would just come up regardless of whether you follow someone. It will come up on your main feed.
That's the thing. It's less like, oh, I know like your name or anything like that. It's more like, oh, I recognise your face from somewhere, and that's pretty much it, really.
Actually, I've got a bit of a cool story that someone actually told me on Twitter. Like, it was an actual like ex-Aston Martin engineer who used to work for Racing Point as well. And he said that, apparently Sebastian Vettel and his engineer actually watched one of my Sebastian Vettel videos, which is like one of the biggest ones on my channel, like in the garage. Like, he actually tweeted, and I checked his profile, and he was actually like an F1 engineer, like working for Aston Martin. So I was like, that is crazy. Apparently he watched the why was he so hated, and now why is he so loved? And I was just like, whoa, if that's actually true, that is absolutely nuts. Like,
he's buried in the comments somewhere.
He's literally in the probably
this guy knows nothing about Sebastian Vettel.
But that would honestly, like, that kind of freaks me out to think that a driver might watch a video about himself. Like, that'd be just so strange.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I had Colton Hurton message me after I did my IndyCar Super License video, which was pretty mad, because I was just like, okay, that's weird. I mean, obviously, it was a shining positive, thing. So it'd have been a bit more awkward if it wasn't.
Yeah. Right, Tommy, do you want to go on to the next one, Tommy?
Come on. Oh, look who it is. It's Tim Sylvie.
It's your co-host.
The Motormouth podcast. It is, yes. Tim here. I was working in Canada at the F1 on behalf of ING Bank, title sponsor of Renault F1 team at the time. So this is like 2007, 2008. We had planned a big party in an old factory called The Foundry with hundreds of top brass from the team, ING and wider F1 community. The centrepiece for the party was a race-used F1 car. had it shipped over, parked it inside a trailer outside the Intercontinental Hotel in Montreal. Almost flopped there.
Got there in the end.
Gave it,
It was a big word for you, mate.
gave it a pat, locked up, went to bed, came down the next morning full of beans, had a tasty breakfast, went to check on the precious cargo. Truck and trailer had gone, vanished. Thanks to the GPS tracker, we found the trailer on the outskirts of Montreal. Doors open, F1 car poking out, abandoned, returned it in one piece just in time for the party, and my F1 career was saved. Wow. Can only assume the penis that I could picture you saying this as well, Tim. The penis that stole it had no idea how to sell an F1 car on the dark market. Imagine nicking a trailer and there's an F1 car in the back. What the fuck would you do?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you should know that there's a Formula 1 car in there. Like, surely any criminal worth their soul would scout it out.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, God.
For audio listeners, he sends a photo of what he looked like when that happened. Wow.
The cap. It's
Love
the
it.
cap for me.
The pout. It's the pout. The pout is
Yeah, but look at the
iconic,
angle
Tim.
of the cap. It's like up here.
It reminds me of from like Alvin and the Chipmunks a little bit. I love it. Oh my
That is
God, what a
impeccable.
story though. Wow. Fair play
When
to you
did
having
you
like
start with that?
fair play to actually having a GPS tracker on it as well. Like that's especially back then. And like that may be quite a rare
I
thing.
want
I
to
think
stumble
back then.
upon an F1 car now. God, imagine that. I just bring it home. Could make a great sim rig out of that. Job done.
Also,
Oh,
I could definitely sell it. I could find a way to sell
Yeah,
it.
you
could
could
you?
find
Yeah,
you could find
could
a
you?
buyer.
Of course you can nowadays, of course
Just
you can.
keep it hidden for like 2-3 years, and then just say, oh yeah, this random person sold me this thing, and then
Well, you definitely could, mate. You just like go to Tour de Force.
yeah,
and be like,
yeah,
"Oh,
exactly
yeah."
that. Yeah, strip it
So
for
change
parts.
the chassis. Like, yeah, I just found it, mate. Like, so £200,000. Have you got a deal? So
Yeah, so it said a raced used F1 car. So it must have
Yeah.
been the ING branded, unless they put the ING livery on one of the earlier Renaults, maybe.
Potentially, yeah, something which was a bit off. But like even then, like you got stories of where like people nicking stuff. Like there's still the thing of the diamond. Is it from the Red Bull?
yeah, Monaco.
From Monaco,
It was
where
from the
it's like
Jaguar.
From the Jaguar, sorry, yeah. Like apparently that'll be a fun video to do. To try and actually like do a deep dive to find where it is, as it were. But obviously that would be so much work to do.
the diamond from the Jaguar nose.
Should we go to the hairpin right now? I'm sure it's right there on the
Right
street,
there.
like, right by the drain.
No one's seen
Still.
it.
You don't upload a video
15
for
years.
60 years and finally that appears because you finally clocked it and found where the diamond is.
Right then,
Right.
Aldas, do you want to go on to the next story?
Yeah, let's go for it. Hi, I have a little story about when I flew to Hungary this year for the Grand Prix, flying from Geneva. Nice. I did not expect to see anyone F1 related. As soon as I sat down in the plane, a man sat down next to me and looked at my McLaren jacket. He asked me if I was going to the Grand Prix to watch, and I responded yes. He then told me that he was going there as well as he worked for the FIA. Oh no, surely not. I don't know what the rest of it says, but surely not. I was very surprised as I did not expect to meet an FIA official on the plane. Turns out a couple more officials were also on the fly, ready to work in Hungary. Pretty fun to start my weekend. Oh my god, I thought he was actually going to say Mazzy.
Oh, who is it though? Who is? See, we're doing so much
He said
investigation.
this year, so it won't be Mazzy, but yeah.
Thank you, F1 Seuss, by the way.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
got,
And, like,
to acknowledge the person who's given their comment
Yeah.
out. That's come on.
I knew you were going to do it
dare
anyway,
you.
Tomo, so 2 seconds.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I feel like
that's
now we're
not
going to be in
a
a
man of the
detective
people.
area though, because we're going to try and figure out now who it could be from the FIA. I mean, obviously there's so many officials who do go out there anyway, but
Whoever
now we've got to
was,
figure out who it is.
regardless,
Did you tell
they
them, by
should
the
have
way,
come
if they
and
sat
been
down
like,
next to you, you
"Sort
better
out
tell
your
them to improve
penalties."
their consistency.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Get it off your chest.
What, like, get a quiz out. Like, okay,
Yeah.
let's test your knowledge.
Why
then.
did you get
Right,
that
let me
wrong,
go
that
through all
wrong,
these
that
penalties, and I want to see how they line up. All right, you gave
How
this
many
to this
millimeters
race.
should a DRS opening be? Is it A, 39.1 millimeters?
Max has eaten
Honestly.
60 burgers each week. What should be his penalty be?
No, you know what though? I think that's an example of one of the. It's like you just assume that everyone's traveling in like first class luxury, but actually, like
No,
it's
not at all.
just people like doing a honest day's work. Yes, they have to fly around the world to do it, but that doesn't mean it's like glamorous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a good example of that was the Zandvoort race because so many people from the media and from the teams and from whoever they went to the Amsterdam airport, but because they've had so many issues there, everyone was having to queue outside. So basically, if you went past in a taxi, you just see pretty much the whole entire F1 paddock just waiting to get a flight in.
To be fair, that reminds me, because when we went to Bahrain for pre-season, like, we had obviously quite a few. There was F1 people like on our plane, which I was super surprised about. Now, I think there was some presenters like Rosanna Tennant and Will Buxton, but there was also some Mercedes. James Vowles was on the plane with a piece of the W13 during Bahrain testing, like a brand new piece that they wanted to test during testing, and he just had it as hand luggage.
No, genuinely.
He walked on with the front wing, like, careful, everyone, out the way. Out the way, I've got the diffuser.
He genuinely did. It was
front wing, but yeah.
It was a component for the car, because we heard him when we were queuing up on the other. It was covered in like black wrap, obviously, so no one could see what it was. But he was just like, they built
fragile on the side as well.
Yeah,
did it have like a coat hanger on the top so they could hang it up somewhere?
But like, no, genuinely, because we overheard him sort of saying, they just finished building it the night before, and they weren't able to get it like shipped over in time. So he was like, I'll just take it with me, and they couldn't.
Quality.
So they just took it on the plane with him, which is insane.
As hand luggage. So a piece of the W13 as hand luggage. I mean, that to me is nuts. That's you can't put that on the plane for it to get lost or whatever. That's
the
a part
title,
they need.
Surely. Come on, that's the title. That's
right then, Hayden, go on to the next one.
Okay, this is from @ElliotActon. Right, had to relieve myself once.
Here we go.
Thank God they said a
theme
we.
with all of these.
Thank God they said a we. In the windy trees at Silverstone, walking back to the main flow of people to wash my hands, and I bumped into Damon Hill. Oh no, where is
Damon Hill?
Where is this going? After exchanging hellos and being the gentleman that he is, he reacted out to shake my hand. After some quick moral decision making, I reached out to meet the embrace. The pleasure of meeting him took over the fact that it was pretty gross. I always thought if I ever met him again, I would apologise for that. But that's still yet to happen.
I'd never want to meet him again after that.
Don't mention it, Elliot. Don't mention it, mate.
How can you bring that up in conversation? You're meeting him like
I met you a couple of years ago. I weed on my hand before I said hello to you.
Oh, Elliot, that is such a good story, mate.
Again, very glad it was a we, because that could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse, yeah.
Different kind of relief there. Yeah, I mean, I could just imagine like looking into his eyes and you're just there and you just know that like it's seeping into his hand and you're just like, oh, what a legend.
Yeah. Oh, you could have gone for a fist bump or something, maybe. But like, yeah, maybe it was before COVID when fist bumping wasn't like a normal thing for everyone to do now.
Raw kept it old school.
Fist bumping wasn't invented after COVID.
No. I mean, like more people are now doing it because COVID was like sort of a thing.
Do you hate COVID? Try out the new fist bump.
Oh god! I would not want to meet after. I would not want to meet him again after that. I'm just saying, keep it to yourself. Don't tell him that.
I was going to say, why didn't they wash their hands? But they did in a bush, didn't they?
Yeah.
Always
trying to find
bring
a doctor
hand
or something.
sanitizer with you.
Well, again, maybe it was before COVID, maybe. Right, this next story
existed before COVID as well.
I know, but it wasn't. Not everyone had it. Like it's that easy. Anyway, next story is from Ali. Thank you very much for sending this in. Cast your mind back to December 2021, the Thursday before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I've gone up there to watch the race with my friend, and we stayed the whole weekend in a hotel. However, when we got down for a late lunch, my friend heard a thick German accent. Sure enough, it was Toto Wolff with his wife Susie and his kid. They were staying in the same hotel as us. We're immediately starting freaking out, and while trying to stay calm and think of how to approach him. I know it would be a bit disrespectful to approach him because he was with his family, so I came up with a master plan. Oh, I'm liking this. I decided to head back to my hotel room as I brought my Mercedes F1 team shirt with me to the race. I had received it as a birthday gift, even though I'm a McLaren fan. Oh, I received it as a birthday gift, although I was a McLaren fan, fake Mercedes fan. It's a bit like Hayden every time. Hayden, what shirt are you wearing today?
I'm wearing the Mercedes one.
It's back on Mercedes.
Yeah. I've got,
what you got? What else you got in your little in your grow?
Yellow Ferrari one that we've got.
Nice.
What else? Yeah, cover. Let's have a look. Let's see what. Let's see the full Aston Martin.
There we go.
On the back.
That's it.
Ironically,
the one everyone you can never lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Ironically, it's the last shirt Hayden ordered, which was the one actually he supports.
Yes. I've also got two in the wash: a Ferrari and a McLaren.
Yeah. That's a lie. They're never in the wash, mate. We all know it.
Mayo, we've got Ferrari. We got an
Almost the whole bunch. Almost the whole suit. Anyway, so he'd gone back to get the Mercedes F1 team shirt. I had put it on and then went back down to the restaurant. And sure enough, within instant, Toto Wolff notices and started laughing. We then have a nice, yeah, he's just openly pointing and laughing at you. Look, kids, one of them.
He changed his shirt just for me.
Look at my power. And sure enough, within instant, Toto noticed and started laughing. We then have a nice short but really nice conversation with him about the race weekend, and then we got a photo with him. The even cooler thing was when we went down for breakfast the next morning, he said good morning to us and even walked to go get his breakfast. He genuinely didn't have to do that, but it was a nice testament of how nice of a guy he actually is. And they've also included a photo as well. It's so nice. That is a lovely photo of Toto there. I mean, look at the lighting and everything. That's a Christmas card photo right there.
That is actually the definition of daddy. Like, he is incredible. Like,
He is.
Look at that man. Like, how old is he now?
Look at those guns. This is insane.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ. That's what I aspire to be.
Even his hairline is like strong.
Oh, it's
so
good.
That
Also,
was
like the
a long
lighting
time
is.
ago for you, weren't it, Tomo?
That's why I'm wearing a hat, Aiden.
Nah, whack it. Let's see, Tomo. Go on. Compare it to Toto.
Well, hang on.
Let's do it.
Let's get a ruler out of the screen, Hayden. Yours isn't exactly. Come on now, mate.
It's alright. It's alright.
That's miles back, mate.
This is nice.
Oh, dear. That's a great story, though, especially like him saying, like, oh, yeah, the next morning Toto recognised him while he's getting his breakfast as well. That's good egg. Very, very good egg.
I do like that Toto noticed that it was the same person, but that he just got changed and like little wink, like, yeah, I see what you did there, mate. I see. Fair play. Come on, we'll get a photo.
Right, Toto. Not Toto. Tomo, on to the next story.
I am
He'll take
Toto
that, to
Wolff.
be fair.
Yeah, please do this story in an Austrian accent.
Go on.
Okay. My parents took me.
Toto, not fucking Hitler, mate. Jesus Christ.
That's a Toto Wolff accent off like Wish.com or something.
It's like German, so I just shout. You know what I mean?
Tomo F1 has just been cancelled.
Right, yeah.
My parents took me to my first race when I was 5 years old. It was the 2005 American Grand Prix. Oh dear, Flynn.
No.
Oh dear, Flynn. Callum Flynn. Thank you for sending that in. Oh my goodness.
I mean, to be fair,
that's
you went
not
to
the race to go to, is it?
But you went to a very historic one, though, so fair play.
It was a
To
good
be
race.
fair, like, what do you think it was? I kind of would like to go to it anyway, just for if I could, if you got to like go to back to Grand Prix that, and then you knew that they were going to be bad, just because like. Just think of like the story like this. I think it'd be as kind of a good little thing to go to. Just to
Everybody
talk about it in the
else
future.
in the world. Oh, I'd love to go to the historic Grand Prix, the ones that everybody talks about. I'd love to go to the worst Grand Prix ever, to be honest.
Mate, seeing Thiago
If I could
Montero
go
on the
to
podium,
top
what could be
10 worst
better?
Grand Prix, give it to me, all right? I'll sell
I bet you
myself.
did not think that he was going to be on the podium.
Fuming American fans. Like, I mean, it would have been. I get what you mean, because it's like history, you know?
It's like a
Absolutely.
moment, yeah.
Oh, dear. Right, Aldas, do you want to read the next one from Jed?
Let's go for it. So yeah, there you go. See, he shouted you out. There you go. Hello, I've got a decent F1 driver story. Well, we'll be judged that. We were in Finland and rushing through the airport when out of the corner of II, we saw Valtteri Bottas. Surprise, surprise. Doing a signing for Williams. So this is back in the day. We only had half an hour until our flight left, so we could only get a few blurry pictures. What could have been? It's tricky. I think it is weird when you
that
do see
feeling,
drivers.
Aldas.
Yeah, me and blurry photo. Well, I got a decent one with Charles Leclerc on his Instagram, so it's all good. But who's
It is
mentioning that?
always funny, though, seeing people when they get pictures with drivers and when they post them, because I have seen some people take pictures where they've literally run up to them, grab that picture, and it's just the driver's face is just kind of like taken by surprise, like what's going
Like
on?
monotone sort of thing, yeah.
And they're like,
dear.
I've got a picture of them.
And also, this is if this is him doing signing for Williams. Obviously, back then you didn't have like camera phones, so it would have just been a proper little like DSLR, not DSLR,
What?
even like a little power shot, wasn't it? Wait,
How
when was he?
how old do you think he is, mate? He was only at Williams like back in like 2016.
Yeah, but like camera phones are nothing like they are nowadays. You know, back then you sort of maybe had like a crappy flip phone one, maybe, but even then it's like wouldn't be
What, in
great quality.
2016?
Yeah,
Matt
Not
showed
that
his
great.
age.
That is
indeed.
crazy. Are you joking with me?
I personally, I I don't, like you said, Hayden, when people like sprint in and just like, I
Just
don't
ask
really
them.
get it.
Just ask them.
Yeah.
Because most of the time
Like-
they're going to be like, yes, like, I understand that some people do get afraid, like, fair enough. Like, I'm not calling you out for that. But, you know, just ask them. You'll have a much better experience if you just say, oh, please can I have a picture? Because one, you'll probably get a better picture. And two, there's a chance of that conversation as well with the driver. Rather
What
than
about if
just
you get
run up,
rejected, though?
And
What
I
about
think
if it's a
grab one,
no?
and then walk away and then be like, what the hell just happened?
And I think it's different for where you're asking for the photo, because it's like, if it's like, say, you know, the famous queue to get into the Australian Grand Prix, obviously there's a fan section zone there where obviously drivers are signing and purposely getting photos. But then most of the time when we're seeing fans getting photos is when the driver's in the paddock, and it's in, you know, the special area where only like sort of VIPs go. And that's where they're walking from A to B, and then you're having so many people come up and like, they don't want to stop them in their path, but they're having to like, right, well, if you take a photo while we're walking, we can do it. But even then, it's like, you can see some of the drivers are just sort of like leaning just to sort of like, just to quickly get the photo, but not actively going hand over.
Earlier this year, I tried to get like a clip on my my phone from it, because it was so funny. It was like Max was just walking around, and this this woman tried to get a picture with him, and just as she kind of got the camera out, he just walked in the other direction. I don't think he'd even seen her, and you just saw her face go from to like, it just completely, her face just ended, and it was so funny. It was so funny. I still got it on my phone. I should post it one day because it was just jokes. It was too good.
Oh dear. Right then, Hayden, do you want to read us the next one?
Right, this is from @AlexPerk04. Met Jos
It's a lot of words, Hayden. No pressure.
Mid-piss Wait, what? Mid-piss dying? Jesus Christ. During. Okay, they put an asterisk on the next message.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Met Jos Verstappen mid-piss during Max's after party at Abu Dhabi 2021. Well, that
Thank
is an
goodness they put the
interesting story.
asterisk with the correction, by the way.
Question though, did they also shake hands like the other story we had? Did they shake hands mid-piss?
They both shook first, and then they shook hands.
No. I think it depends who
on his
you're a
phone.
fan
He was
of,
like,
Max or
sorry,
Lewis.
mate. He's like, sorry, mate. Could you mind holding this for me while I just take this phone call?
Also, fair play to Alex. He must have, getting into the after party as well. That must have been a proper good one. That must have been proper fun there.
The one time you don't ask for a picture as well. Wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, true. That must have been a wild night. Oh, here we go. We've got a video going on here.
Oh, oi.
It's glitching for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that. So this next one is from Toby. Met Kubica told me I was taking a video instead of taking a photo. This is going to
That's
be
always
good.
awkward.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Andare via.
Okay, for
Va bene, signor Kubica.
can I go in with both of you? Is that all right?
You are doing video.
And it's Giovinazzi behind him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
it
one
is.
cares about Gio. Kubica's the guy.
Whoa.
Wearing sunglasses. And he's wearing sunglasses
Savage.
inside as well.
Are you saying that Robert Kubica is bigger than Jesus?
Yeah, he definitely is,
Kubica.
mate. He definitely is. You don't
Whoa.
know. He's massive.
To be
Well,
fair.
I do rate taking a video rather than a photo, because if you only got like a second to quickly get one in focus, then it could go out blurry. Whereas if you've got a quick video, it's already at good quality and you're not having to worry about it. So I'd rate actually doing a video
true.
rather than photo.
And also, I feel like I've seen that.
Knowledge.
I think he's posted that on Twitter before, by the way. I feel like I've seen that before, so that's quite cool.
Aldas, you are a stalker, to be fair. You do see a lot of stuff that's going on socials.
I've always the all
You're a
seen
big
always
Toby
there.
Howard fan. Huge Toby Howard fan.
Yeah, he's massive.
And now we're on to the last onto the last story now. Tomo, do you want to give it a go?
Are you okay with this? This is a lot of reading.
A lot
Thank
of words.
you.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be fine.
Thank you,
Do you want to split it
Joanna.
up? We can all take turns.
If there's any big words you're struggling with, we're here for you. So
Right. My dad used to kart with Senna in Sao Paulo when they were young. My dad sold his car later on to pay for flight training to become an airplane pilot. Years later, he met Senna at the airport after he won the World Karting Championship. Not a funny story, but just interesting.
is
Let's
very
look at that one
interesting.
first. I think there's a couple of
Wow.
stories here.
I'm proud that you got through that part.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I did
that's
say
actually
pain
that's
instead of
so
plane,
cool
but-
though. That, like surely maybe they're like sort of family friends or something. Well, like her dad or whomever, if they were sort of karting together, because obviously loads of guys who go karting that they it's like a traveling circus basically. So that's so cool though. It's
Yeah, that's mad.
There's still more, Tomo.
Because Senna had like money, didn't he? In terms of like he had financial support, right, coming through the ranks.
I mean, he took
'Cause
part
I think,
in F1, so
yes, but I'm just saying, like
Yeah, I believe
'cause
so. From an early age, yeah, I believe so.
yeah. So but I guess a lot of that's so cool though. That's airplane pilot as well. That's like that's a decent job. All right, the next part. Also, my dad's met quite a couple of pilots that he flew. Pilots they met,
like drivers, because they were
drivers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They call drivers pilots.
Jos Verstappen, Kimi after what he won in Brazil, and Kimi was the nicest dude ever.
Nice.
That seems to be a reoccurring thing with Kimi Räikkönen. He's always like the
Kimi is
nicest guy. He's always
lovely.
nice.
Yeah.
He's too real for F1. Too real. And also met PK Jr. when he was in GP2. Was that when he was wasn't he on the same GP2 calendar as Lewis? Yeah. That's cool. He invited him to the plane's cockpit and they started talking F1 history. PK Jr. told my dad that it was the first time he met someone that knew more about his father than himself. That sounds like the kind of thing you'd do, Aldas. You're like, oh, actually, I've got loads of knowledge.
And then my uncle come in to be like, actually, you know nothing.
Kicks the door in, Matt's uncle. It's like, oh, yeah.
I'd have him, honestly.
That's so cool.
I love those little insights because it's easy to forget these people are actually just people. You know?
Yeah,
They might be good at driving car, but
I do have to say though, like the brief time I worked with PK Jr. in Formula E, he did have a bit of an ego on him. Not gonna lie. We worked together on a video.
Spill the goss, Matt. Spill the goss.
Well, we were working together on a series I was making called Race School, where the idea is each episode is a driver talking about something very basic to do with racing, whether it be understeer or oversteer or safety or aerodynamics. And we were doing aerodynamics with Nelson. So I've written out a simple script, which behind the camera, we sort of have it on big cue cards so they can just easily, because we only have like limited time with them. And I made the mistake of asking PK to repeat a line because he's just said it really, really monotone. I was like, oh, can you just do it one more time, but just like a bit more oomph? And he just went, don't ask me that again. And I was like, okay, on to the next one. But yeah, so the video is out there if you want to see it on Formula E's YouTube channel with
what's it called?
It's Aerodynamics, and it's with Nelson PK Jr. So you can see it there in the garage. But yeah, he didn't want to repeat himself, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks, man, cheers. So
there goes our Nelson PK Jr. collaboration out the window.
Oh my god, it's actually here. I'm literally going to watch that afterwards. He looks so awkward as well. The way he's standing, he looks so awkward with his arms like out. Oh, it's nuts.
It's like an NPC character.
Literally.
Dear. Oh, but this has been fun though. I love going through all these stories. We should do this again sometime.
Maybe next time we have to bring in our own stories from our time in the Formula One world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very limited time for now.
I reckon we got some stories.
We just listen to all of Matt's because Matt has many stories because you've actually worked in motor racing. Like,
when Matt tells us about the time that you saw Chris Hemsworth naked. That's all we've got time for.
You've got to tune into the next episode to find out about that one.
I have seen him naked. I saw Thor and his hammer.
And on that note, I think that is the perfect time to wrap up this podcast. If you have been listening to us and enjoying this podcast over on Spotify or any other podcast platform, make sure you follow us and rate us over there as well. If you're watching us and seeing our beautiful faces here on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let us know any of your F1 stories that you have had experience with drivers or personnel in the Formula One paddock down in the comments section below. From the four of us, we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye!